Surviving a catastrophic injury transforms the home into a secondary theater of operations. It is a quiet, isolated, medically equipped room where the battle is measured in pill counts and shadows. For those with severe disabilities, staying alive is a two-person job. It creates a state of total physical dependency, requiring a spouse to spend days washing, feeding, and lifting a grown adult off the floor. This constant, grueling vigilance from a family member acts as the only buffer between the veteran and a cycle of emergency room admissions. The homecoming promised by society is often an illusion. Real survival is sustained solely by the radical, unpaid devotion of a family member choosing to carry the weight alone. The institutional system designed to prevent this isolation is massive, receiving hundreds of billions of dollars specifically to support those who have borne the battle. Yet, even with 16 years of meticulously documented medical records, a veteran can find themselves completely cut off from the funding they are ostensibly entitled to. The bureaucratic rejection often targets the veteran's own competence. If you are capable of articulating your trauma or clearly describing your injuries, the system uses that coherence as evidence that you are functional. Explaining why you require a wheelchair becomes the very proof they need to claim you are independent. By demonstrating you understand your medical needs, you inadvertently argue against your need for a caregiver. This is the systemic catch-22. You must be intellectually sharp enough to navigate an opaque bureaucracy, but that very sharpness legally disqualifies you from the life-saving support you are applying for. The government measures severe physical disability through a strict metric called activities of daily living. It is a rigid checklist: bathing, eating, and toileting, that translates human suffering into a set of binary data points. Qualification for help now requires proof that a veteran needs direct physical assistance with these tasks every single day. There is no room for fluctuation or intermittent recovery. This policy punishes the act of getting better. If a veteran completes a single physical therapy session successfully, they risk being documented as capable of independent living. Reclaiming even a small shred of independence mathematically triggers the loss of the caregiver, whom the veteran relies on for everything else. The system builds an environment where total physical failure is the only way to maintain support, making any recovery a financial and medical risk. When an organization reaches this scale, it shifts from prioritizing human health to prioritizing risk mitigation. Managing a veteran's care becomes a matter of limiting exposure and protecting the budget. The shield of sovereign immunity allows this bureaucracy to function without the threat of legal accountability. Failures and delays are characterized as administrative accidents, leaving the veteran with no venue for recourse. This lack of accountability mirrors the dynamics observed in the Stanford prison experiment. When an authority figure knows their decisions are beyond consequence, empathy is naturally replaced by a focus on enforcing rigid, dehumanizing rules. The persistence of veteran suicide rates reflects the cost of being treated as a disposable liability. Trillions of dollars enter the system, yet the outcome for the individual remains a flat line. For an institution protected by immunity, treating vulnerable human beings as cost-effective data points is the most efficient way to ensure its own sustainment. The public maintains a reverence for military service, focusing on the pristine image of the parade rather than the reality of the veteran's home life. History shows how quickly elite warfighters are transformed into discarded problems when they return home and seek assistance for their injuries. The realization that the system has no intention of helping creates a profound, quiet disappointment. It is at this point that many are pushed toward a final, permanent decision. Some choose a path of delusional optimism, a radical, stubborn refusal to let institutional neglect turn them into another suicide statistic. When a system is engineered to break you, choosing to survive and care for your family is the ultimate act of rebellion. True care manifests in the grueling, continuous, and stubborn love of a family, choosing to survive together against all odds. We are witnessing a massive, gaping wound in our society, created by these institutional failures. Repairing this damage requires more than bridging over the gaps with temporary programs. We must actively suture this wound, at the local level through direct, community-led support. Blind faith in massive bureaucratic apparatuses will always lead to disappointment. They are built for sustainment, not for the individual. Care is found in the light we choose to give each other when the official systems fail. It is an active, radical love that refuses to let anyone suffer in silence.